What's up, beautiful people? It is April 7th, 2013. Another Sunday in toxified Houston, Texas. I would like to talk about a few things that have been on my mind since I recorded the last video, because now that I've really come to understand it, and after having a conversation with a friend that also knew Mr. Bay, there's been no one that's spoken about what has happened to him. I have not been able to talk to anyone that has heard anything from him. People have asked me if I am him. I had people that were looking for him from the Philippines contact me through Facebook, and they thought I was him because they looked at my Facebook and they saw it was very similar to his, and his posts were very similar, and so they thought he was me. There was multiple individuals claiming to be from the Philippines, where he supposedly was. That was the last place he was known or said to be. And he just just vanished. So I would like to clarify who Ernest Bay is. And I'm going to get more in depth into this. He's my fourth cousin. I'd like you to know I have a lot of Aboriginal Masons in my family. I have an aunt that works at Bechtel. Yes, I know Bechtel is one of the most fucked up corporations in the world, but nevertheless, it's her life. Ernest Bay was a senior administrator of the Five Star Trust. That's the bank of the CIA. When I met him, he was part of this organization. He also went to Romania when I was living in Romania at the time, when the Trilateral Commission met in Romania. Yes, I do know the Trilateral Commission is a bunch of dirty gangster Illuminati motherfuckers. Ernest Bay was very open and very honest to all of his friends on Facebook and family members to what he did. This was his way of making atonement for what he did and what the world knows as business. So I'm going to continue to use Ernest Bay because I honestly believe there was never any Ernest Rothschild. Now, let me specifically get into explaining everything that happened with this man that taught me a lot, that actually was the only person that I know of to actually say, hey, you are right on it. You know what's up. He took me from feeling like a conspiracy theorist to being a person that was right on their ass. So 3 months after we met, I was living in Romania. It's like 3 to 4 months. Supposedly somebody tried to poison him, okay? And luckily, this is what was said over Facebook and through his staff, because he also had a staff that ran his Facebook. Basically, he was poisoned. He was in the hospital. And thank you to an old Chinese remedy, he's okay. So he returned. A few months after he announced that he was retiring from the Five Star Trust. Now, I really want you people to understand something. The Five Star Trust is the bank of the Central Intelligence Agency. This is the CIA's money, their bank. This man was one of the top 5 financial wizards in investments in the world. This is why the 5-Star Trust made him their senior administrator. He is one of the best, or he was. So let me explain to you some things about the CIA which most people don't understand. I'm going to be factual. CIA kills people. CIA starts wars in other countries, kills people, and puts other people that are working with them to push their agenda, whatever that may be. The CIA is known for killing people and replacing them. What I mean by killing people and replacing them, I specifically mean, say I am the gangster Al Capone, and the CIA wants to take control of his organization. So Al Capone's right-hand man gets killed by the CIA, but not before they spend millions of dollars and maybe a year or two training another agent to take Al Capone's right-hand man's place. You've seen this in many movies, but very few people think that it's not real. It's very real. So, let me help you understand. These people spend maybe $1 million training this guy, plastic surgery and everything, okay? Do you know that is nothing if he is a cartel drug lord? That is $1 million. What, sometimes they make 30 mil in a cocaine deal? $1 million ain't nothing. They spend $1 million training these super soldiers. $1 million ain't nothing to them to train an agent, give them plastic surgery, and in a specific time kill the real guy and then push your guy up in there. They are known and notorious for doing this. Even Saddam Hussein was said to have at least more than 5 doubles, men that he paid to have look like him, so you could never really tell which one was him. This was all to evade the CIA. It was even said Hitler had doubles. These were paid men given plastic surgery, and at times even sit in cars in different places to spread disinformation, to say Hitler is here, no he's here, no he's here, but he's sitting in some bunker. And a lot of times these guys will get killed. So I want you to understand that my cousin was the senior administrator of these motherfuckers' bank. So when he announced his retirement, do you think they actually would let someone go like this? With him knowing their bank access codes, I mean, all of their dirty little secrets and where they put their money, how they put their money, where they hide their money. I mean, do you think this company, because the CIA is a company, do you think this company would let this man just retire? They don't let their people retire. Dead men tell no tales. Bottom line. Now, I want you to really get a clear picture of what they do to their own people. Now, the CIA, I've seen tons of documentaries, and very well informed people like Ted Gunderson, used to work for the FBI. Now he's a crusader trying to expose all the child trafficking sponsored by the Central Intelligence. Because, hey, these black ops programs need kids to experiment on, right? But they ain't gonna tell you that. Ernest Bates would tell people that. He would talk about their black projects, because if you're running the bank for the CIA and you have like 30, 40 mil going to some black program and they're not telling you what it is, I mean, come on. Then, let's talk about Mina. Have you heard of Mina? Type in on YouTube, Mina, M-E-N-A, Clinton and Bush. See what comes up. It's my town where I was born in. Arkansas. I was born in Little Rock. Mina is in Arkansas. Excuse me. The state I was born in. Mina, the Bushes, and the Clintons were smuggling billions and billions of dollars of cocaine. Mina was a stopping point into America and out of America for their unmarked planes being flown by Central Intelligence agents. These planes would land in Costa Rica, Guatemala. Even the Contras was about the cocaine and controlling the import and export of cocaine. The CIA is a company. They control the American drug trade. The war on drugs that so-called Bush Sr. launched is bullshit. It just gave them a reason to go after, say, the small guy, the black guy, the African guy, when they're bringing it in. So, let me also remind you that Ernest Bay was the senior administrator of the Five Star Trust after 9/11. Whose bank accounts rose to like billions of dollars after 9/11, huh? Well, if you're a Rothschild, if you're a Windsor, if you are any of these Illuminati motherfuckers that knew, well, Ernest Bay would sometimes talk about, well, how do you know that these motherfuckers knew about 9/11? The oldest clue in the book, and these stupid motherfuckers cannot figure it out. Well, let me tell you, okay, because I ain't no fucking genius, but I ain't stupid. How many times in every fucking detective movie, what do they tell you? What's the number one thing to solving any crime? Does anybody know? Follow the money. Let me say it again. Follow the money. What happens if you follow the money? If you follow the money, it reveals patterns. What kind of patterns? Let's see. Who invested in gold a week, days before 9/11, huh? Who did that? Why did they do that? It's called insider trading. But if you're a cop or a government agent with half a fucking brain, you can see it's clear. Because these motherfuckers, CIA, Rothschilds, Windsors, the whole fucking 13 bloodline, do you know the price of gold tripled, then doubled in the days following 9/11? So if you invested in gold a week, days before 9/11, what should that show you automatically and tell you, huh? These are facts. So Ernest Bay saw this being the senior administrator of the Five-Star Trust. Again, the bank of the CIA. So with things like this, and with specific knowledge like this, do you think these motherfuckers are gonna let an Aboriginal go? Just walk off into the sunset and drink his tea? And especially, he never gave a dime to help me out of the situations that I was in. Homeless. They tried to kill me several times in Paris. The only people that would fucking listen to me was the French Foreign Legion. So respects to them. And in Paris, we fucking threw down. Ain't that right, Rothschilds? So anyway, now you really get a clear picture and a clear understanding of why they off my cousin, Mr. Bay. And what I really suspect is they replaced him, and then after he retired, he disappeared from Facebook for I think maybe a year or so, and then came back, and then he changed his name to Ernest Rothschild. See, what I suspect is what they did is he retired, no one heard from him, they probably killed him, took control of all his assets, sent in their little clone Sith. They had been planning for this because they were never going to let him go. He knew too much. He knew how to follow the money. He was paid to do it. So basically understand that in a nutshell, he was targeted. He was killed. So then he comes back to Facebook talking shit to all of these people, even me. I mean, he still, put up the whole pro-black, pro-Afro, pro-Aboriginal little kind of thing that Ernest was known for. But as of really being earnest and being really cool and respectful to the people that he was respectful and cool to when he was Ernest Bay, that shit didn't exist. And he would constantly write comments and talk shit to people about sending him emails about who are you and this and this and this, and you can't get away with saying this, and all kinds of things that really made a lot of people start to wonder, who the fuck is this? So by the time I really figured it out and put two and two together, and started to really look into Operation Montauk and understand that the U.S. government has been fucking with time because they've had a time machine since, the 50s? No, don't forget. Now, you might think it's a bit absurd, a time machine? What am I smoking? Whatever, people. I look at it like this. I look at Star Trek. I saw Star Trek when I was a kid. Most of that shit in Star Trek didn't exist. But within my lifetime, now it does. Star Trek, they had like little communicators that they could communicate with their ship in outer space. Well, we got the same thing. They're called cell phones. Cell phones communicate with satellites in outer space. They even used to have the little flip handles like Star Trek. Star Trek had the whole little microwavable food, little things. We didn't have that when I was a kid. Now they have it. They have a lot of things. So with only natural progression and from lots of people coming forward about Project Montauk, really helps me understand how diabolical these motherfuckers are and how actually simple it would be to take control of somebody in somebody's life. With the block program of Project Montauk, you really start to understand and see the truth about what these motherfuckers have been doing for a very long time. Now, if you still don't really believe in time travel and our government possibly has this machine, I strongly urge you to look into the Nazi Bell Project and understand that the Nazis were brought over to the United States under Operation Paperclip and given jobs at NASA. Now, what I suspect is Area 51 wasn't a UFO of alien descent. It was an unidentified flying object to us. But what it actually was the Nazi bell. So what they had, basically the Nazi bell time shifted into the time of Area 51 and it crashed. So the US confiscated UFO technology. So this is why probably Russia and America were so hot to get the Nazi scientists. Only makes sense, doesn't it? You want to bring the scientists over to your country so they can tell you how everything works. The Nazi Bell Project was a craft called the Bell. Basically, it worked on a magnetic energy source that created a vertical lift field. What I mean is, basically, why don't you get a piece of string and tie something heavy around that string and spin it really fast? What happens to your hand? What do you feel? You feel that energy and that polarity of that spinning sensation. Well, basically what I want you to understand is this. The bell worked like this. Say you have a pole and a circular circumference mechanism that is negatively charged, positively charged, in a shape of a cross. So basically, these charges rotate from negative to positive whenever the pole that's attached to the spinning mechanism in the middle that creates the energy, it's two-sided, one negative, one positive, and whenever they hit the negative positive part, it switches and pushes it away. So what happens if you create a simple mechanism like this? You create a force. This is the essence of the bell. So what they discovered is this magnetic force created a field around it. A field that would affect time. So with Nazi experimentation, they learned how to perfect this field. Now what I mean a field that perfected time is once they were in this ship, they learned that in this ship, because it moved vertical, horizontal, not straight, left, whatever, any way they wanted. And because of the magnetic polarity in this ship, they could move faster than time. There were time lapses to be known in these ships. So, in essence, this was a time-traveling UFO. So, in the Montauk Project, which the Montauk Project is based off the knowledge and technology from the project that we will call the Phoenix Project, the Philadelphia experiment. Now, the man that started that Philadelphia experiment, that first worked on it, was Nikola Tesla. The government really wanted their ships to be invisible to cloaking. Tesla outdid himself. He knew what he did. He needed more time to perfect it. The government gave him a deadline, which he knew he needed more time. So basically, they fired him and got more scientists in there. And you have the tragedy of the Philadelphia experiment, where you have a ship that disappears from 1948 and shows up in 1984. And it showed up in 1984 because there were scientists in the future of 1984 still using the technology and frequencies from the Philadelphia Project in 1948. So what they did is they built a parallel bridge. And this really fucked up a lot of shit on Earth, by the way. So once they figured out what they had done, and then they had actually perfected time travel, now you get a clear picture of where all these billions of dollars go that's unreported, that get taken and claimed by the CIA. Again, I'm talking about Ernest Bay, my cousin, who was killed by his own people, the Central Intelligence Agency. Well, they were never his people. Let me explain to you. He might have been on the Trilateral Commission. He might have been part of the Five-Star Trust, but the difference between them and him is he was Aboriginal and sovereign. And he told him to fuck off. Your laws don't apply to me. He was a lawyer. He was very well versed in Black's Law Dictionary. You couldn't fucking touch him legally anywhere on this goddamn planet. And they knew it. So what do you do to somebody like this, huh? What do you do to a man that had been, taking your dirty drug money for fucking years, taking your money, your blood money that you made from 9/11 gold trade and making it clean? And then he started writing on Facebook exactly how you do black banking and the underground world of the black market and taking dirty money and cleaning it. This note is public on my Facebook that he wrote. It will blow your fucking mind, but it's the truth. This is what he did to make amends for all of his sins. So ain't nobody gonna talk about him. Nobody said a goddamn word. His whole family gone. I suspect members in my family, same shit happened. But who's gonna do something? Who's gonna say something? Nobody. Because what you're dealing with is you're dealing with black Freemasons that are still sucking the dick of the CIA and all of their skull and bones, Nazi, Luciferian bullshit, just as long as they get paid. Bottom line, the CIA was created by the Skull and Bones. The Skull and Bones are fucking KKK. I don't give a fuck if they do got a few niggas with them like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Guaranteed, if Jay-Z and Beyonce step out of line and start telling the truth, they're fucking dead. Just like Ernest. But let me tell you something. They ain't got the heart. They ain't got the balls. They just a bunch of bitches sucking the dick of the devil. And that's why every time you see them, Beyonce got a Baphomet ring and throwing up that all-seeing eye bullshit, saying, oh, this is Rockaware. Well, yeah, it is Rockaware. Rockaware is owned and run by the Illuminati. Jay-Z just sits as the head CEO of that bullshit. So I pray one day, if they don't decide to just silence everybody, which they always do. That's why I'm recording this. Because this is how I say, hey, CIA, MI666, MI5, all you black ops, dirty Nazi, Luciferian, pedophile, fucking women smuggling, cartel, Nazi bullshit motherfuckers. I hope you die. I hope a bullet finds you really quick for all your sins. Because from 9/11, from the Contras, from pushing America into the dirt, from poisoning us with chemtrails, and then poisoning our food with Monsanto's, and getting your bitch Obama to pass a law to protect that evil ass company, while America is the sickest country in the world, literally. The ratio of Americans that are sick and dying is triple than any other country. And this all started when Monsanto's started spraying all our food with Roundup. When the farmers started injecting their cows with growth hormones given to you by Monsanto's. That is milk. That means the chocolate. That means every fucking thing just about that you put in your mouth that's sweet is toxic. And then good old Monsanto's goes after the vegetarians and starts attacking the soy crops because they put soy supplements in a lot of shit now. So these are these Luciferian fucking companies. Bottom line, 9/11, they killed Americans, started a bullshit war, made trillions of dollars, and still making trillions of dollars from Halliburton and all these fucking government companies that they're putting in to rebuild these countries that they destroyed. And again, it's an 11-year war off a war that they started. Osama bin Laden's CIA cover name, FBI cover name is Tim Osman. These bullshit Arabs are sucking the dick of the Bushes and have been since the 80s. Osama bin Laden's father, his wife's father were the biggest investors into Arbrusto Energies in Texas. Look up Arbrusto Energies and the connection between Bush and Osama bin Laden. There's tons of articles on the net about it. But the CIA or FBI or all the people working for Obama can't read these, right? So then you get into Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda was created and trained and armed and paid by the CIA. Al-Qaeda is the same group that they claim took out the Twin Towers. Well, yeah, it was Al-Qaeda. But Al-Qaeda was working for the fucking CIA. The money trail proves it. Any FBI or CIA agent that tried to stop 9/11 and didn't really know what was going down, they got shelved. Or they got given a job at the Twin Towers, and hey, their first day working at the Twin Towers was 9/11. They're dead. So then when you really start to understand what they did about 9/11, let's go forward a little bit, or excuse me, back. Remember the election? How they had Fox Network that fucked up the whole election because Fox Network is an Illuminati-run company, and they were the ones that announced Bush won when all the other networks said it was Gore. Fox Network was the only one. And then they had Jeb Bush, Bush's brother, fix the fucking election, and it took 3 days to put this Nazi motherfucker as president. And then we tried to impeach him, and it was supposed to be fought on September 12th. Guess what? It wasn't 9/11. And then all of a sudden, the poll rating and approval rating for Bush went up. Of course it's gonna go up. These motherfuckers just killed us. And then they're saying we're under attack? While they just made trillions of dollars on the black market secretly in gold and sitting back laughing? And you're telling me the CIA and FBI and all these motherfuckers can't put it together and I can just with the internet? It's astonishing, isn't it? But it's the truth. So now, let's move a little bit forward. You got Bush stole the election. Well, you know what I like to call 9/11? Reichstags 2000. What did Hitler do with the Reichstags, huh? Well, Germany didn't want the socialist movement. Hitler tried. A lot of the Nazis in the socialist movement fucking got killed when they tried. So what happened? They burned the Reichstags. The Nazis say, oh, we're under attack. Get behind me, I'll protect you. Same shit the KKK faggot Bush Jr. did. Yeah, he a faggot. Most of these motherfuckers are. What do you think the whole meaning of boys club is? Why do you think they're so secret about this? Hey, they have wives, and the wives are as sick as them. Because the wives are just used for breeders, and that's it. And public opinion, that's it. Yeah, they have daughters. Probably artificial inseminated. It's a boys club. They're faggots. Skull and bones. Faggots. Nazis. Faggots. And then when you get into the Arabs, yeah, the Arabs like pussy, but they only like pussy that they can fucking snatch and control and treat like shit. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck about a Muslim. You treat women like shit. I don't like it. I don't like how you treat women. I don't like your laws and customs when it comes to women. I don't like harems. I don't like any of that shit. It's the most disrespectful shit on the face of the earth to women. But see, when it comes to the trade of stealing women and filling your harems with any woman you want, this is where the Arabs and the Nazi faggots get along. So, anyways, back to Ernest Bey. It's my cousin. He was a Muslim. I mean, he knows how I felt. Well, I believe in Christ. I'll tell any Muslim this. You don't have any fucking respect for women. It's the truth. You have fucking harems. Any man knows you're blessed to have one woman to love you and to understand your other half. I mean, any more than one woman, you're just fucking greedy and thinking with your dick. Like most men. That's the truth. I'll be the one to fucking say it to anybody. Give me a man that'll fucking deny it. And any woman that's listening to this knows I'm speaking the truth. So anyway, 9/11, the killing of my cousin, the killing of other members in my family because they're sovereign. They replaced Ernest, and now he just disappeared because I figured it out. Ain't nobody heard from him. I'm doing this recording because a friend of mine came to me yesterday and asked me about him, and we started talking about him, and she didn't know. So I told her. So now you really get a clear picture of how lost America is because the United States corporation let these fucking Nazis in the door. And now they're running the United States into the gutter while poisoning our air, poisoning our water with fluoride, poisoning our food with Monsanto's. Bottom line, they want us to die. Hello? Isn't it a bit obvious? And then, for all you Obama supporters, okay? All you people that are just upset because, oh, I'm against Obama. I got two things to say to you. Two facts. You never knew shit about this man before somebody told you, hey, did you hear there's a black man running for president? He's not black. Technically, there's no black man. Black's a shade, not a color. So when you get into the whole definition of what we consider black, well, he's Indonesian. He ain't even what we would consider black. He's Asian, Muslim. He belongs to the Prince Paul Lodge of the UK. So basically what the Bushes and the CIA did is they just dropped some foreigner, boom, right into the United States, scrubbed his identity, and said, hey, okay, release it. Speak, Obama. And then all of a sudden, you got a black man running for president that nobody's ever heard of, nobody knew shit about, nobody bothered to ask questions, nobody bothered to say a goddamn thing because Bush is a fucking Nazi faggot. Everyone hated him even before he got into office. Nobody voted for him either time. They had to put in a digital vote counter and fix the votes the second time. That company is a subsidy company of Halliburton. So the first time and the second time, we had 2 terms of that faggot motherfucker. So America was gonna go for anything, so yeah, send in the nigga. Obama. That's the first thing I have to say to you. The second thing is, how much do you care about your health? Huh? How much do you care about your kids' health? Do you even give a shit if you live or die? Do you give a shit if you die a painful death from cancer and other very painful, very costly diseases? Well, obviously, if you are down with Obama and support Obama, you don't. And I can clearly tell you Obama doesn't give a fuck about me or you. Why? Because Obama just passed the Monsanto's Protection Act. If you haven't heard about that, well, you really don't know shit about your black president. He passed an act protecting the company that is solely responsible for single-handedly putting billions of Americans to death. Death by food. Death by toxification of food through GMOs. Do you know what a GMO is? That is a genetically modified organism. Let me tell you what it, in essence, does. Monsanto's developed a pesticide called Roundup. Basically, they told farmers if they use this, it'll kill all of their pests, bugs. What Roundup does is if you spray Roundup on your corn, your wheat, your cotton, your crop, if a bug bites your crop, its stomach will explode. So, the downside of this is we eat this toxic shit because it is so good, it actually gets ingrained in the food. This is why America has so many sicknesses right now and diseases that are all having to do with the gut. Why the gut? Well, remember what I just said? If a fly just comes along and takes one bite of Roundup sprayed corn, its stomach explodes. So technically, what happens to you when you eat this bullshit toxic food is this. It goes in your stomach to be digested, and your gut gets holes in it. And then your food is no longer digested. It's leaking out into your blood system. And then your red blood cells start fighting this food, this toxic food, going into your body through your exploded gut. This causes very many kinds of different deadly sicknesses, people. So Obama, by signing the Monsanto's Protection Act, he is telling all the people that are trying to stop this company, all the people that have died exposing these facts, all the scientific proof, he's telling Canada, fuck off. Because Canada told Monsanto's to fuck off. France told Monsanto's to fuck off. There's a huge lawsuit on Monsanto's from French farmers. But Obama passes a law to protect this company? So that's all I have to say to you dumbass Obama supporters. Facts. Okay? So back to the killing of my cousin Ernest Bay. I got on Obama because Ernest Bay would talk so much shit about Obama and who's the Illuminati's bitch and this and how he ain't even American, and he just exposed the shit out of him. He's gone. So his words, his teachings will live on through me. Members of my family, gone, replaced. Why are they gone and replaced? Well, because I had members in my family, like, let's see, my mom, civil rights activist, friends with another lady that's a holistic healer that was known for curing government agents, the same government agents that the government would give cancer or some other deadly disease to, and they expected them to be dead and they didn't die. Why would they go after people in my family? Well, get Ernest Bay. Also, my grandfather is a Shriner, a Moor, Aboriginal, original, Blackfoot, sovereign, and the American laws, once they know, don't apply to us. Why would they go after people in my family? Huh? Why would they go after Ernest Bay? Didn't I just say I have an aunt that works at Bechtel? Well, what happens when she decides to quit, huh? You think they're just going to let her quit knowing all the shit she knows? I'll probably make sure she gets cancer and she'll be dead in like 5-10 years. So I get a book deal in a company that says they want to print me. And we love your book of poetry, this and that and that. And it's awesome. Within a week, guess what happens? The same lady that tells me this and all of this stuff, all of a sudden is telling me that she was told by her director that I have to pay 10 grand to get that book printed. And then the same day, my friend tells me that the party that I was to be booked to DJ at, to get some money, you know, the second party that I've DJed at since I've been back in Houston, well, the owner of the club just up and said, oh, we can't have the event there, huh? Well, I'm used to this because let me tell you what they did after they tried to kill Ernest Bey. I was working at the Radisson in Romania. It is the nicest resort in Bucharest. Janet Jackson stayed there. Madonna stayed there. I mean, anybody that's a star stays at the Radisson. All the international soccer teams that come into Bucharest to play the Bucharest soccer teams stay at the Radisson. All the fashion events that happen in Bucharest and meetings and stuff happen at the Radisson. The presidential and government dinners and all the really nice stuff happen at the Radisson. Even the Freemason lodges, the German and French ones, had their VIP dinners at the Radisson. How do I know? Because I DJ'd at them, playing jazz. Nicest jazz and chill out you'll ever hear. They'd have their Freemason plaque right at the door and blah, 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 blah. And they'd be speaking German and French and say, we've been in Romania for 20 years and blah, blah, blah. Don't forget to pay your fees in France, home of the Rothschilds. Ernest Bey also lived in France, Aix-en-Provence. So, basically I wrote this note that really pissed the Rothschilds off, exposing them in 9/11, all this stuff that Ernest Bey had taught me and stuff that I learned. I just compiled it into one note. So Nika Garu comes down because I guess they probably wanted to have me knocked off at one of his clubs or something happened, you know. So Nika Garu comes down and asks me to work at his club. Now, you don't know who Nika Garu is, but every Romanian, if you know a Romanian, ask them who Nika Garu, the Claw, is. And look at the look on their face. Every Romanian knows who Niku is, okay? Nika Garu is the biggest drug dealer. He is the biggest exporter of women and children in Romania. Nika Garu owns Fashion TV Romania. Nika Garu owns the space music franchise from Ibiza throughout, the world. These are his money laundering companies. Every Romanian knows these things. It's like common knowledge. And, it's like, never fuck with Niku. They call him Mr. Untouchable. So when he came down to the Radisson, after I'd been working there for over a year, DJ'd for the soccer teams, DJ'd for nothing but all the rich people coming in and blew their mind. Because they had never seen, good, chill out music, but I like to scratch and play two copies and do tricks and shit. They ain't never seen no shit like that. So he asked me to work at his summer clubs. I tell him no. This man was being shadowed by 3 CIA agents. How do I know CIA agents? Because, they've always been around me all my life. Because I grew up with a son of a son of a son of a Nazi scientist that worked at NASA in Spring Branch. The family name of Treadway is a fake name. My friend Chris's father worked at NASA until my mom opened her mouth to some of the other concerned moms in the neighborhood that Chris's father was raping and beating his son. And then it got around in the neighborhood and back to NASA, and they said, this wouldn't look good if we kept somebody like this here. Caused too much attention because he's a son of a fucking Nazi. So, automatically, in Spring Branch, I grew up with a man. Now he's a man. But his son and his whole family was always being watched and shadowed by the CIA. So I think I know what they look like, whether it's in America or Europe. So I told him to fuck off. 2 weeks later, guess what happened? It's the summertime. The summer season started. And I take the deal at the Radisson. And let me tell you, my boss, my German boss, along with Fat Faggot Jasper, who was the second manager, vice manager, whatever. They're both Masons from Germany, by the way. Jasper's a flaming fucking faggot. So the head manager, let me tell you what he did. I'm DJing and I see this family of English, all redheads. One of the males, the older male, has an Egyptian tattoo all around his like surrounding his chest, all throughout his back. It was Egyptian. It was like a pharaoh tattoo. So this family's sitting there swimming, and they're the only family swimming. And they start talking shit about my music. Which nobody complains about my music. So then I see the manager. He takes a walk with another redhead gentleman. This suit had to be at least $10,000 suit. I know suits, I know clothes. Very expensive suit. So then I go take a break and get some juice and nuts. So my hands are full opening the door to the pool area to get back to the DJ booth. So I push it open with my foot. So 5 minutes after this, the manager comes up to me. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, when he met with this gentleman, before I went and got some juice and nuts, he gave this gentleman the Freemason handshake right in front of the DJ booth. So then my German Mason manager, after I came back with the juice and nuts, starts yelling at me, okay, that's it, I had it, turn off the music, you're fired, blah, 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 da, 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 da. So I realize what he's doing. I stay calm, and I said, sir, what's the problem? Because everybody's shocked at the pool. They're like, what the fuck? And he said, you're always eating, and you kick the door open, and blah, blah, blah. I said, sir, I didn't kick the door open. I said my hands were full with the juice and nuts. And if you notice that bar that extends all the way down to the bottom, which it is made for people that have full hands to push open the door with their foot. That's why the bar extends all the way down to the bottom, sir. So I started to clown him with technical language. This really pissed him off because his little charade, his little ruse wasn't working. So then the vice manager of the pool comes over and he calms down the other manager, and everybody's freaking out because this guy's making a scene. And then he talks about, I'm sick of watching you eat when you work. And I said, sir, I'm here for 5 hours. I don't have a break. I mean, it's not in my contract. In my contract, it says I get free juice and free nuts. When am I supposed to eat them, sir? Each song is like 2 to 3 minutes long, sir. So he started to turn red. He didn't know what to say. He just started yelling obscenities. And the other manager said, look, just pack up your stuff. We'll call you, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what's going on. And so after this, I couldn't find a job in Romania, DJing anywhere. I lived in the snow. About a month and a half in the snow where I thought I was going to die. Nobody would help me. But during this time, I had a video camera, small, very crude, and I spent my nights and days making videos in front of Fashion TV and all of Nikageru's establishments that I knew about, talking about him, talking about the Romanians, talking about the cops, talking about the filth and the dirty motherfuckers that don't give a fuck about what's going on in Romania. And clearly, no one could believe it. And then when you had Nikageru's people come outside and listen to me, and I'd point the fucking little video thing at him and continue speaking and tell him, fuck off. What are you going to do? What could they do? And I tell them, I'm going to go right over to Orange, which is right behind you, and use the internet and upload it. And this is exactly what I did. My channel on YouTube, those videos are still up there. It's not fake. With the bad video and the commentary, that's me homeless in Romania. It's fucking cold. You see the snow. So this is what happened to me. This is what the Rothschilds did to me. And I didn't die. See, their plan was no job, no money, nobody will help me because everybody's afraid of Nikageru and I die in the snow. But that didn't happen. God had a purpose for me. So, let me tell you something that I did after all this happened. I got picked up on the streets by the cops. I had no visa because it expired. Now, I want you to really understand something and understand the law and what a badass motherfucker is, because this, I have to brag, because after I did this, it made me feel like a badass motherfucker. Because when I was arrested by the cops, I was taken into the police station where I'm homeless. Not one fucking Romanian friend of mine would help me. So here I am with a male fucking cop. And the cops in Romania, they're dirty as fuck. So I'm telling the cop about who I am and what I do, and he recognized me. He said, I think I've seen you on TV. I said, yeah, probably. I worked at Captain Monday's Space. I've done a lot of things on TV. So he said, what were you doing homeless? How'd you get homeless? I said, they took my girl. He said, who? I said, you're fucking gypsies in your cartel. And he didn't say shit. And I said, what? You think I don't know about Nikageru? You think I don't know about what the fuck he does? His drugs and taking women and kids? And then the female cops, they just laughed. And all the other cops, they couldn't believe it. Even the ones that didn't speak English knew what the fuck I said. Because they understood Niku, drugs, women, kids. That's universal. So then the cop told me to go over there and sit in this room. I sat in there for like 20 minutes. Then another cop came. He's dressed all in black. He spoke English. He asked me who I was, this. And he started asking me questions. He said, so, you know Nikageru? I said, I don't know him personally. I said, I worked at a few of his clubs. He's like, what'd you do? I said, I'm a DJ. He said, oh, really? I said, yeah. I said, I'll give you my email. Here it is. Here's my YouTube channel. Here it is. There's lots of videos of me standing in front of Fashion TV and Buffalo Steakhouse and all his fucking businesses talking about his shit. Yeah, I know he's got a brothel in the basement of most of his fucking buildings. It's just a front. The cop was shocked. Cause yeah, I know you fucking know, dirty fucking pig. So I wanted to say, but I didn't. So he was shocked after listening to me. He told me to go sit over there. They all gathered around the computer. They couldn't believe it. Then the cop tells me that I'm going to have to get deported and I'm going to have to go to refugee jail. So whatever. It's better than being in the snow. So here I am. I get around customs officers. Now, if you don't know what customs officers are, they are the officers that export you and import you and know all the shit that goes on through the borders, and especially the importation and exportation of women, children, and drugs. This is these guys' business. The customs police. So these motherfuckers got me around the custom police? What the fuck do you think I did? When they started to question me and ask me questions, I did the same thing I did to the cops. But the difference with the custom police is the next day they came back after watching my videos. Couldn't believe it. The one custom officer who I give mad respects to told me a story about the Romanian gangsters. They were called the bandits. Whatever the word for Romanian is for bandits. There were 3 guys. One homeless and the other 2 guys, their families were killed by the mafia. So basically they went around killing the people that did injustice. The cops, the dirty mafia guys, the gypsy guys, all of them. They just killed everybody. And during this time in Romania, all of these fucking dirty motherfuckers were scared. So this Romanian custom officer told me this story, and his nickname for me, he would call me this name in Romanian. It means bandits. It is the biggest respect. And then everybody in this refugee place would call me Mr. or Sir. I was the only one. So then, let me tell you about what they did for me. Because they knew that America was not the place for me, because they looked into my background. They saw how dirty my stepbrother was. They told me shit about fake accounts, money laundering accounts, in my sister's name, in my mother's name, all this shit. And they asked me, do I know anything about this? I said, I knew my stepbrother's fucking dirty. He's black ops. He does all of the security for all the black artists that come to Houston. He sucks Puff Daddy's dick. He trains Puff Daddy's security. His name's Officer Cliff Jackson. Everybody knows Officer Cliff. His real name's Corregor Jackson. He's a dirty motherfucker. I told him my stepfather brought the Shrine of the Black Madonna to Houston, Texas. And it's a money laundering operation. That's why I came to Romania, for searching for diplomatic asylum, because there are a bunch of dirty motherfuckers, and it's my step family that came into my real family, and I suspect them of killing members in my family. So I've been saying this, and I told him the check with the Romanian consulate in Washington and asked them to send them a letter that I sent them the last time I was in America before I came to Romania. So you know what the Romanian customs did for me? Ask any lawyer people if you think I'm full of shit, okay? The law, according to the EU, if you get caught without a visa in a foreign country, you are to be exported back to your country of birth. This is the law. I was in there with rich businessmen who had to stay in Romania besides their visa expired, and they had tons of money. And they still got exported back to the United States. They couldn't buy their way out of this. So let me tell you what the customs officer did for me. They let a friend purchase a ticket to Paris for me. They told me that it was believed that my girlfriend was taken to Paris. Home of the Rothschilds, Paris. The Rothschilds own more property in France than any Frenchman. France is Rothschild world. So let me tell you what I did. These same motherfuckers that came and got me fired hoping I was going to die in the snow, I went to their fucking capital. I got escorted by the police onto the plane. All these people at the airport were talking and whispering, saying my name. The cops were shocked. The custom officers were shocked. And by this time, we were good friends. And I said, see, I told you. They couldn't believe all the people that were whispering my name in the airport. Because they knew who the fuck I was. I did a lot of shit in Romania. Okay? In the 8 years I lived there. Climbed to the top. So I wonder how much these fucking Masons of the Paracelsus group, that is the Freemason organization that sucks the dick of the Rothschilds. Paracelsus group. That is the Romanian Freemasons. Fuck you. I hope you get a bullet. And yeah, I know your name. I know everybody's name. So I got escorted, a police escort onto the plane, gave my passport to the pilot. When I got to France, not America, when I got to France, I was the last person off the plane and got escorted off the plane by French security and got taken to the back of the airport, and they sat me down and said, who are you and what is this about? I told the truth. They called the Romanian consulate when I was sitting there. The lady sitting in front of me that was questioning me, I heard her get this astonished look on her face, and she's like, whoa. They said he's the best. And she said, the best? The best. And she said, hung up the phone, and she said, welcome to Paris, Mr. Ewing. She said, go out that door, follow that hallway, and go straight. Basically, I didn't even get stamped going into Paris. I just went and straight to the bus from the airport that you take to get to Paris from the airport. And then my adventures in Paris began. I took a cab. Once I got to Paris, I took a cab to Saint Sulpice and met with a priest there. Because I had a priest, Orthodox priest, Father Downey, that was watching over me and helping me in Romania. God bless him. He's also American and he lives over there. So anyways, now I'm back in America, exposing the shit that they did to my family. Because I had to come back after they attacked me and I was left for dead. Had some broken bones, head trauma. Time to heal. Had to come back into this cesspool of fucking vipers. It's where I am now. So now I'm exposing their shit. How it truthfully is. And now you really get a clear picture of what they did to Ernest Bay, my family, what they've done to my family members, what European customs officers did and knew. But when I come back to the United States, they've tried to have me locked up 3 times. Cliff's buddies, Cliff's friends. He knows all the cops. Let me tell you something, cops. You might have me sit in your jails for a few days, or even sometimes a month, before you give me a court date. Which is what you tried to do. They locked me up for my birthday and fucking Christmas. So when I had my time with the judge, I didn't swear in to his shit. I didn't swear on the Albert Pike written KKK Bible. I didn't bow down to his Luciferian laws. And he didn't want me to bring up "In God We Trust." Doesn't that say that on your Federal Reserve Incorporated money? Printed by the Rothschild Nazis? Well, I don't trust in that God. I don't trust in your God, Freemason, Texan, bullshit judge. So they can't lock me up because I know the law. The sovereign law and my God-given born rights. If you don't bow down and submit to their Luciferian KKK bullshit laws, they can't bound you by their laws and lock you up. So now I'm waiting for the French Legion to make moves, for the Russians to make moves, for the Romanians to make moves, for the secret agents to make moves, and get me my fucking money so I can get the fuck out of this cesspool of fucking vipers, build my studio, make my music, live with my girlfriend, and be fucking happy, and tell any motherfucker that fucks with me to fuck off. Any motherfucker that doubts me to say, fuck you. Who the fuck are you? What the fuck do you know? How long have you been in the struggle? What the fuck have you lost? How much you getting paid to try to talk shit to me, to push me down, clown? You sucking the dick of the Freemasons too? Sorry, I don't want to have a goddamn thing to do with you. So this is respects to Ernest Bay. This is what they did to him. This is what they did to me. But fortunately, I guess, he's a Muslim. Like I said, motherfuckers, y'all have respect for women. I'm still alive. Why? Well, Ernest believe in Muhammad. I don't. I believe in Christ, Yeshua, and I'm still alive. So, take it as you will. I'm living proof. I might not be here tomorrow, but I'm here now to tell you this. Stay blessed and stay in the movement and stay true. And fuck you goddamn bullshit Nazis, and fuck you motherfuckers that don't want to see Obama for what the fuck he really is. And fuck you government agents that are too stupid to follow the fucking money. Because, hey, Romanian government followed the money. They found out all the dirty shit about my family. I ain't part of it. Gee, follow the fucking money. 9/11 investors who invested and made trillions of dollars after America was attacked. Who's making trillions of dollars with Halliburton? Dick Cheney, because he sat at the head CEO of Halliburton and then stepped down from the head CEO to become vice president to really run the country while America's too stupid pointing the fingers at coked up faggot Bush? Is it so hard for you FBI motherfuckers and you bullshit CIA motherfuckers to follow the money and to do your goddamn job? And to arrest the motherfuckers in Monsanto's for fucking killing Americans? Straight up! Go after Obama for saying, I'm gonna protect this bullshit company. Canada knows. Poison. French knows. Poison. UK knows. Poison. But oh, Obama says, no, America, it's okay. Eat up. Come on, stupid fucks. Eat the poison. Die. A painful, miserable fucking death of cancer and God knows what else. And then when you die, your kids will still be paying for your medical bills and you won't know what happened. While these companies are making billions feeding you while leading you to your painful, miserable death. Fact. And I ain't afraid to say it. Peace. To spread disinformation, to say Hitler is here, no he's here, no he's here, but he's sitting in some bunker. And a lot of times these guys will get killed. So, I want you to understand that my cousin was the senior administrator of these motherfuckers' bank. So when he announces retirement, do you think they actually would let someone go like this? With him knowing their bank access codes, I mean, all of their dirty little secrets and where they put their money, how they put their money, where they hide their money. I mean, do you think this company, because the CIA is a company, do you think this company would let this man just retire? They don't let their people retire. Dead men tell no tales. Bottom line. Now, I want you to really get a clear picture of what they do to their own people. Now, the CIA, I've seen tons of documentaries, and very well-informed people, like Ted Gunderson, used to work for the FBI. Now he's a crusader trying to expose all the child trafficking sponsored by the Central Intelligence. Because hey, these black ops programs need kids to experiment on, right? But they ain't gonna tell you that. Ernest Bates would tell people that. He would talk about their black projects, because if you're running the bank for the CIA and you have like 30, 40 mil going to some black program and they're not telling you what it is, I mean, come on. Then, let's talk about Mina. Have you heard of Mina? Type in on YouTube, Mina, M-E-N-A, Clinton and Bush. See what comes up. It's my town where I was born in. Arkansas. I was born in Little Rock. Mina is in Arkansas. Excuse me. The state I was born in. Mina, the Bushes, and the Clintons were smuggling billions and billions of dollars of cocaine. Mina was a stopping point into America and out of America for their unmarked planes being flown by Central Intelligence agents. These planes would land in Costa Rica, Guatemala. Even the Contras was about the cocaine and controlling the import and export of cocaine. The CIA is a company. They control the American drug trade. The war on drugs that so-called Bush Sr. launched is bullshit. It just gave them a reason to go after, say, the small guy, the black guy, the African guy, when they're bringing it in. So, let me also remind you that Ernest Bay was the senior administrator of the Five-Star Trust after 9/11, whose bank accounts rose to like billions of dollars after 9/11, huh? Well, if you're a Rothschild, if you're a Windsor, if you are any of these Illuminati motherfuckers that knew, well, Ernest Bay would sometimes talk about, well, how do you know that these motherfuckers knew about 9/11? The oldest clue in the book, and these stupid motherfuckers cannot figure it out. Well, let me tell you, okay? Because I ain't no fucking genius, but I ain't stupid. How many times in every fucking detective movie, what do they tell you? What's the number one thing to solving any crime? Does anybody know? Follow the money. Let me say it again. Follow the money. What happens if you follow the money? If you follow the money, it reveals patterns. What kind of patterns? Let's see. Who invested in gold a week, days before 9? What's up, beautiful people? It is April 7th, 2013. Another Sunday in toxified Houston, Texas. I would like to talk about a few things that have been on my mind since I recorded the last video, because now that I've really come to understand it, and after having a conversation with a friend that also knew Mr. Bay, there's been no one that's spoken about what has happened to him. I have not been able to talk to anyone that has heard anything from him. People have asked me if I am him. I had people that were looking for him from the Philippines contact me through Facebook, and they thought I was him because they looked at my Facebook and they saw it was very similar to his. And his posts were very similar, and so they thought he was me. There was multiple individuals claiming to be from the Philippines, where he supposedly was. That was the last place he was known or said to be. And he just poof, just vanished. So I would like to clarify who Ernest Bay is. And I'm going to get more in depth into this. He's my fourth cousin. I'd like you to know I have a lot of Aboriginal Masons in my family. I have an aunt that works at Bechtel. Yes, I know Bechtel is one of the most fucked up corporations in the world, but nevertheless, it's her life. Ernest Bay was a senior administrator of the Five Star Trust. That's the bank of the CIA. When I met him, he was part of this organization. He also went to Romania when I was living in Romania at the time, when the Trilateral Commission met in Romania. Yes, I do know the Trilateral Commission is a bunch of dirty gangster Illuminati motherfuckers. Ernest Bay was very open and very honest to all of his friends, those people. CIA starts wars in other countries, kills people, and puts other people that are working with them to push their agenda, whatever that may be. The CIA is known for killing people and replacing them. What I mean by killing people and replacing them, I specifically mean, say I am the gangster Al Capone, and the CIA wants to take control of his organization. So Al Capone's right-hand man gets killed by the CIA, but not before they spend millions of dollars and maybe a year or two training another agent to take Al Capone's right-hand man's place. You've seen this in many movies, but very few people think that it's not real. It's very real. So, let me help you understand. These people spend maybe $1 million training this guy, plastic surgery and everything, okay? Do you know that is nothing if he is a cartel drug lord? That is $1 million. What, sometimes they make 30 mil in a cocaine deal? $1 million ain't nothing. They spend $1 million training these super soldiers. $1 million ain't nothing to them to train an agent, give them plastic surgery, and in a specific time, kill the real guy and then push your guy up in there. They are known and notorious for doing this. Even Saddam Hussein was said to have at least more than 5 doubles. Men that he paid to have look like him, so you could never really tell which one was him. This was all to evade the CIA. It was even said Hitler had doubles. These were paid men given plastic surgery and at times even sit in cars in different places on Facebook and family members to what he did. This was his way of making atonement for what he did and what the world knows as business. So I'm going to continue to use Ernest Bay because I honestly believe there was never any Ernest Rothschild. Now, let me specifically get into explaining everything that happened with this man that taught me a lot, that actually was the only person that I know of to actually say, hey, you are right on it. You know what's up. He took me from feeling like a conspiracy theorist to being a person that was right on their ass. So 3 months after we met, I was living in Romania. It was like 3 to 4 months. Supposedly somebody tried to poison him, okay? And luckily, this is what was said over Facebook and through his staff, because he also had a staff that ran his Facebook. Basically, he was poisoned, he was in the hospital, and thank you to an old Chinese remedy, he's okay. So he returned. A few months after, he announced that he was retiring from the 5-Star Trust. Now, I really want you people to understand something. The 5-Star Trust is the bank of the Central Intelligence Agency. This is the CIA's money, their bank. This man was one of the top 5 financial wizards in investments in the world. This is why the 5-Star Trust made him their senior administrator. He is one of the best, or he was. So let me explain to you some things about the CIA which most people don't understand. I'm going to be factual. CIA killed